Hey guys, Chuck Barone here. Friday, July 29th, 2022 from beautiful Reno, Nevada. Good to see everybody again. I want to start the show real quick by apologizing for not being up the last couple of days. I've had this vacation scheduled with a group of guys. It was going to be kind of a guys' weekend. You know, golf, a little craps, a little fun and games, dinners and fun stuff, just hang out. One of the guys came up with a great idea of let's travel up in a mobile home. Long story short, blown tire, rescue operation. If you've never been to Nevada, between Reno and Las Vegas is a whole lot of nothing. So breaking down is an adventure, and it's one we had. We planned on doing shows, but with the mobile home and everything in it, kind of. Anyway, I'm back, and it's good to be here. Getting into today's markets, what a day. I think it's one of those days you don't see very often where everything was up today. Everything. Stock market, wow, big day, rallying all over the place, broad-based rally. The bond market, boom. Just bonds, there's big demand apparently for 10-year bonds, driving that 10-year yield down to 2.64, defying gravity. It's just bananas. You got a 30 basis point spread between an overnight rate and a 10-year rate. And you got the overnight rate here. Then you got the 10-year rate here. Then you got the 5-year rate here. Then you got the 2-year rate here. Then up here you got the 30-year rate, and the yield curve is just this distorted, perverted-looking weirdness. It's just bananas to me, guys. The dollar still strong. Gold, metals, precious metals, gold and silver crashing, crushingly good day today. Silver up, nice day, well over $20. You got the oil market up today. Boom. Everything. Today is one of those happy days, I guess, where recession be damned, economic data coming in be damned. We're going to have a day, boom, everything's going to go up. Now, I just got to wonder where all this money's coming from. So if it's people out of the bond market into stocks, how does the bond market rally like crazy at the same time the stock market does? And at the same time silver does? And oil too, which is usually oil up, usually is not great for the market. I don't really know how to describe what we're seeing here, guys. It's not following in any way any kind of logical progression. So it's really difficult to look at this with any kind of real analysis, because none of it really makes sense to me. In news you guys have seen over the past couple of days, on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve, as we've been talking about and as was well expected, well telegraphed, raised the interest rates up 0.75 of a point. That puts the Fed funds rate, I calculate, at 2.35%. And more promises of more to come in September. We'll see what happens with that, whether it turns into no rate increase, whether they stick to the 0.5 point they've been promising, whether inflation numbers still look so terrible they have to go even higher and go to another 0.75 point rate increase. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out, because the following day, on Thursday, we got our GDP report we were all waiting for, and it showed that, as we've been talking about since day one, this economy in the second quarter contracted less than expected, 0.9%, just under 1%, but nonetheless a contraction for 2 quarters in a row. Sorry, Democrats. Sorry, Mr. President. 2 quarters in a row means recession. Can't spin your way out of this one, guys. When you hear the word spin, know what that means. Lie, okay? It's crazy. So that now starts the procession of the government yo-yo is going to come out and explain to us how what you're seeing with your eyes, what you're hearing with your ears, what you're seeing at the store and at the gas pump and everywhere else you're spending any money, your bills, your power bills and everything else, what you're seeing is not what's true. What's true is what they're going to tell us, which is we're not in a recession. Everything's peachy and wonderful. Look, we're going to point at this and we're going to point at that. It reminds me of the magician who goes, look over here, while he picks your pocket with this hand, right? I mean, it's just incredible to me listening to these people who are supposed to be respected, intelligent, well-educated, come out and try to talk to us like we're friggin' idiots and we're just going to swallow down any load of bullshit they throw our way. It's incredible to me. Here comes Yellen, the Treasury Secretary. I got to ask how a person like this gets to be chairman of the Federal Reserve and Treasury Secretary of the United States. How does this possible? Name me the time she's ever been right about anything. And now she's coming out and she said, well, we're not in a recession. Of course, they're denying that one to the end. But what we're doing is we're transitioning to a more sustainable economy. Now, what kind of government double talk bullshit is that? What does that mean? A more sustainable economy. So you want to go from, wow, growth is really going good, to, wow, we're not growing at all, or GDP is declining. What's your definition of sustainable, Mrs. Yellen? Then you had the president come out. Guys, not to be picking on President Biden Carter, but did you see these visuals? Okay, so here's the President of the United States. He has the Oval Office. He has the Resolute desk. He has everything in the White House to use, and they bring him out and they sit him at this little kindergartner desk that like totally diminishes him and makes him look smaller. It's like, I don't get the staging that they're doing. And then he's going to come out and tell us, well, economic growth may not be as robust this year as it was last year. And, they're going to talk to us about this nonsense and try to deny what's real with their own load of bullshit. It's a phenomenon. Now, we got some real economic news to talk about. We had real estate, and all the numbers in real estate coming down. Every report is negative, from new home starts to new home sales to existing home sales to prices. Here in Las Vegas, the median price is already down $15,000 this month. It's not much, but it's a pretty significant start from the sizzling hot seller's market we had just as little as 6 weeks ago. We have today we had two very big reports come out today. The first one was the one I was talking about earlier this week on Monday, the ECI, the Employee Cost Index. And what this does is it measures the cost of the employees to businesses, and when you see increases in employee cost, that's inflationary because the companies then want to raise their prices to compensate for that additional cost for their employees. Now, they expected 1.2% increase on this. Oops, it came in at 1.3%, which is not a big difference, but let me translate that for you. What that means is the cost of employment rose 5.6% over the last quarter, year to year. So now employment costs are starting to rise faster. And this is a big red flag for the economy in an inflationary environment because it starts what they call the wage price spiral. And I've talked about this before, but for those of you who may miss that one, what happens is prices start to go up, so the Joe working man, us, starts asking for more money to pay those additional costs. The boss wants to keep the employee happy, gives him that money. So he now is even, but now the boss has to raise his prices to make up the difference for the additional pay he's paying. And it just starts a cycle that is just horrible for the economy. And once you get into that cycle and it starts, it's very, very, very difficult to stop it. So now you have, the cost of labor increasing 5.6%. It's the fastest pace since the 90s, I read. Now, at the same time, you have this inflation number at 9.1%. Now comes the Fed's report on their favorite measure to measure inflation. It's called the PCE index. And it's basically a kind of their preferred measurement for measuring inflation because it doesn't really count food or energy costs. That came in at 6.8% higher year over year. So they were expecting 6.3%. It came in at 6.8%. This is the one the Fed points to show that inflation isn't as bad as everybody thinks it is. Going to be really difficult to whitewash this stuff, guys, okay? The cost of labor is going up. The core inflation numbers are going up, okay? The purchasing cost numbers, that's the PCE. So everything's going up, but they still want to paint this rosy picture, and the stock market, the bond market, and everybody in denial about what the state of the economy really is. They want to paint this rosy picture, ignore it, at their peril, guys, at their peril. They're pointing to what? Employment. Employment's very strong. Well, we're seeing signs of cracks in that fortress now because a lot of companies have announced big layoffs. That's going to accelerate as earnings come down. Going to be hard to keep that one from blowing up pretty quick. And then they're pointing to consumer spending. Well, consumers are still spending money. Yeah, that's true. They're spending money, but they're not really buying anything additionally. Okay? So, if the cost of inflation is 9.1%, and they buy the exact same things that they bought last year, their spending's going up 9.1% for those things, okay? This is like some kind of hocus pocus, razzle dazzle bullshit. I mean, guys, this is not going to end well for them. The numbers are numbers. You can't lie about the numbers. The numbers are what they are. And you can't you've heard me say it before, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much polish you put on, you cannot polish a turd into a gold bar. So reality is going to set in sooner or later. The things we've been telling you to do still go. Save your money, invest it conservatively, spend it conservatively as well. Be thoughtful the way you spend your money. Hunker down, because when this is over, there's going to be opportunities for big gains because everything is going to be on sale. Anyway, signing off from Reno. We really appreciate your guys' support to the channel. All the people who wrote me and emailed me asking if I was okay. Everything's good. Just had a little kind of a crazy little thing. The story we'll have forever. We'll be back. I'll be back at my desk on Monday in my usual tie, and you'll be seeing me looking like I normally do, and the show will get back to normal. I really appreciate your guys' support. Don't forget, like, comment, ask your questions. If you haven't already, subscribe. Remember to ring the bell so you get your notifications. We really appreciate you guys' support. Have a great day, and we'll see you again on Monday. Thanks.